Alright, my stream's up and ready. I'm good for whenever.
Okay, so give it 3 more minutes, and then afterwards we'll start. Because I know that Evie doesn't have much time, so don't worry, I'll make sure the session works.
Yeah, okay. Appreciate you!
Mm-hmm.
Lord.
We will see. You might get all of your answers very quickly, at which point you guys can figure out what you want to do then, but...
You do realize I'm in this call, right?
I am. However, I don't know. You have, I'm sure, do you have a lot of questions, Jeff? Are you about to be like, what's my name? Or are you gonna be like...
How many toes do you have?
Oh my god.
You better have that written down.
I do.
Good.
I think what's more than likely going to happen is I'm gonna ask one question that leads to another question that then snowballs into another question.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I mean, if Blank joins the session, we're going to be asking questions for that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, that we're lacking a certain someone that asks the dumbest questions.
You guys are like starting the session now. No. Okay, I think that... Here, we'll just start. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'd be ready.
I am ready.
Very well. Coming back from last session, you all entered the second trial to speak with the Arcanist of the Tower of Illusion. Entering into a strange chamber, you were able to quickly discover the format of the, if I believe it's called, the Halls of Confusion, as each hall rotated every time you entered a different space. As you were unlocking the puzzles of each different space and finding strange weaponry, different sorts of individuals inside of it, you also were met by a copper dragonborn that seemed to give you key hints named Albert. Albert helped guide you through partially, as you all eventually were able to find your way to resolve the puzzles of the rooms and be able to ignite the main fire chamber and speak with the head wizard, known as Lundy. As you spoke to Lundy, you were able to persuade him to let you into his tower. You now find yourselves walking into a fine stone room, windowless, with torchlights filling the entire space, no other apparent doors, and a fine wood table with chairs that for your entire 5 chairs for each of the party members and himself. As he sits down and casts Mage Hand and pulls out of the wall, a stone moves and he pulls out of the wall a cup of what appears to be tea as he sets it down. Well, if you want to take a seat.
Okay.
I'm assuming you all sit?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. As you all take your seat, he goes, well, I've been keeping my eye on you since you began to try and enter my tower. You seem fairly capable, considering you were able to get through both trials that I set up. Thankfully, most of you aren't mages, or else things might not have went well for you. I'm going to presume all of you do not study the arcane arts.
That's a good assumption.
Yeah, I don't know shit.
Good.
Don't.
If that's the case, I would ask, you explained to me that you saw an old man. He's very familiar to me. What did you come with the intention of, to clarify?
Well, essentially, I interpreted from my dream that he was going to attempt to break out of said cage and come here. Cage or prison, however you like to think about it.
Okay. So, it's difficult for me to believe that he is able to break out, of any Cage, if this is the same individual we are speaking of, I'm going to need to establish some trust here if I'm going to be speaking frankly with all of you.
That's fair.
As this is a very personal affair for me.
That's fair.
He snaps his finger, and you watch as 4 pieces of parchment whoosh, appear out of the ether in front of you. In front of you lays a contract that essentially binds you to a zone of truth.
No, I was just gonna cast Zone of Truth.
Is that it? Like it's just a zone of truth. That's it.
Does it have
He
magic
kinda-
on it? It probably has
He pokes his
magic
head
on it.
and beckons you towards the contracts.
I'm just the only thing is that we just tell the truth currently. Yeah.
Do you all sign them?
Will you answer my question?
What did you ask him?
I asked him. So this contract. So like, I quote unquote read the contract and just make sure that it's only about telling the truth.
Yeah, it's only about telling the truth.
Okay, yeah, I signed it. It doesn't matter.
It will indicate also if you have any malicious intent in regards to Alundi.
No, I'm good. I'll sign it.
Yeah,
and
I'll sign it.
will cause you bodily harm if you do.
That's a good thing that I don't have that ill intent, so I'm good.
Okay, you all sign the contracts.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
What defines a signature for this contract?
It just you could write your name.
Okay, I try and write my name. For the hard
roll me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, that's not good. I don't know how to write.
How did you sign the first contract then?
You signed a contract before?
Yeah, you did.
For Alex.
I
He
assume I
didn't
just
do it
like
while he wasn't
hand
paying
on it.
attention. I just want to see what happens at this point.
I don't wanna.
Okay, it's actually a pretty good J. Very.
It's just one J.
You really curved that J though, like, and the Y has a nice curve to it, you know.
Oh, forgot to do this.
He kind of sits there and goes, okay. With that in mind, I believe that you have some questions for me. I am welcoming you to ask what you need to know before I will establish what I think needs to happen now.
So who is this guy?
The person that I think we are discussing is a ancient archmage from the time before the convergence, during the Age of Recovery. His name is Epis Theolod. He is, to my knowledge, from the age before the convergence, when arcane abilities was at its highest.
Okay. So what would that prison that I saw him in be?
That was a demi-plane, a product of a ritual that me and other members of the Sanctum of the Eight Realms performed in order to lock him away from the material plane.
What did he do to deserve to be put there?
Epis was a confusing sort. He had more power and knowledge than I think anyone could really comprehend. He was maddened by a quest to ensure that all arcane knowledge was preserved. The methods that he took to ensure this involved deep, inhumane cruelty. He would use people to sharpen his skills. And over the time that I knew him, he grew more and more mad, seeking out anybody who would at all be against the use of arcane abilities and crush them. He also was not a perfectly kind soul and would often capture and torture children in order to ensure that they would fill the roles that he set for them. A lot of this I learned after he was sealed, but at the time, he was somebody who had entrapped a lot of people into the role of the Sanctum of the Eight Realms. Some of us did originally choose this, although it's hard to tell what was choice with him. He knew magic beyond, I think, anything anyone could really comprehend within this era. Decide what was actually consensual and what was his will is difficult.
So how many people were used to entrap him?
8. It was one member of each of the different realms of the arcane. So, abjuration, evocation, enchantment, conjuration, necromancy, divination.
By any chance, would any of them have been a tiefling or an elf?
You're speaking of Balrog and Tro?
Oh, that's lovely. Okay.
Tro is the current master of abjuration. Balrog is the current master of enchantment.
Have you seen them in a while?
I have not personally.
You might want to reach
I'll need some clarification on that.
Okay, so the reason why I asked what race they were was because there were, correct me if I'm wrong, 6?
It was 8.
Or 7 creatures?
It
6 or
was
7?
8 people.
Oh, it was 8 people? Okay. I saw 8 people of different races, and some of those races included elf and tiefling being consumed by him, and that's how he breaks out.
Interesting. Could you describe to me the other races?
I'm gonna need to pull up that Google Doc. We're just gonna sit here for a second while I pull up the D&D thing. Is this it? Nope, that ain't it. I don't think I actually have it anymore. I think that they're gone.
Okay, so I have the races.
I kind of figured you did. I just wanted to see if
So-
I'll write them down in my notes now.
You're good. I'll list them. So there's a Kenku, a Tiefling, an Elf, a Dwarf, a Human, an Aasimar, a Halfling, and a Gnome.
Okay, I had 6 of those in my head. I would not have gotten the Kenku or the Aasimar.
Yes. As he kind of goes, that matches the racial descriptions of each of the members, current members of the realm. I don't know how he would use us in that way. Did you see how he got us into his dimension during the dream?
No, I kind of woke up in a silver pool of water, but it was like this was a while ago, so the water kind of faded for me, but I saw all 8 of them standing in a circle around him, and then purple chains going across the floor and pushing them all up against the wall and then he just started to drain their life from themselves. Almost like if they were arcanists, probably draining their magical essence.
Interesting. Arcanists don't have innate magical essence, so I don't know why he would seek us out for that. Interesting. Very well. The other people that are involved, based on your dream, what else do you need to know about him before I explain further?
Maybe we should just have you explain further, and then I can ask more questions, because you might answer my questions.
Very well. I'm a member of the Sanctum of the Eight Realms. I am the Master of Illusion. My role, and all of our other roles, was intended to be to preserve the different realms of arcane ability, to memorize the different spells, and to archive them from all eras, to ensure that arcane knowledge does not fall from this world. Each of us was hand-selected by Epis to perform this task. Every time one member of the Sanctum passes, he replaces them with another. Most of us were fairly new upon being captured. Epis would ask us consensually, although once again, it was hard to really tell if he was being convincing or if we were being coerced via a strong form of enchantment magic that we could not detect. We were children, after all. The only member of the Sanctum of the Eight Realms that I know that is currently deceased is the former Abjuration Master, Sheld Mistivus. She was a kind sort, and quite old. She was a human woman. She passed and had taught us the ritual that we use to lock away Epis. We had to fight him in order to make it work. We had to perform what is called the Song of Banishment. We had to cultivate a temple, which we did so off of the coastal border of Exordia, from the city of Altros. It's a bit off. I could show you on a map, if you so wish. On the map I sent you guys, there's a wizard tower on a small island. That is the location that he would be describing. He should be in Ledger.
I knew that was going to play a part at some point.
All of us were trained by him to learn our abilities. The only one that currently has not gotten very much training from Epis is Tro. As he was quite new before we had to lock away Epis. For the better of the world. The current members' locations are not all clear to me. I do know some of them. If what you say is true, then we are all in quite grave danger. Epis was obsessed with his goal of preserving arcane knowledge. He would perform many different dangerous techniques in order to ensure that the knowledge was preserved. And he rolls up his sleeve, and you look at his arm and you see arcane runes forcibly carved all across his arm. This was what he used to manipulate and control us when we were less amiable for him.
What do you...
It made it a lot easier for him to manipulate us.
So those runes, were they almost an ability to force you to do things against your will?
The runes themselves would be used to make you feel like it was your will. But also, it made it very difficult to resist him. So in a way, yes. Epis is not to be trifled with. He is an arcanist beyond anything that you could ever imagine. Any legacy, any storytelling, any folk tales, there is no form of knowledge that could provide you just how powerful of a person he is.
Sorry, can I interrupt for 1 second? Hey, Alex.
Yeah?
By any chance, did your little girlfriend have those runes on her?
No, she never had any runes on her arm.
Okay.
You watch as the Lundy turns and goes, I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. What about?
That was more of just like a general question, because
The
Alex,
current
can you just-
master of necromancy is still alive. I probably would have known something about this if something had changed.
Yes, I mean, I'm assuming that dude's still alive.
She is still alive, yes.
That person's still alive. Sorry. Essentially, we were tasked to find this kid a while back, and then we figured out that it wasn't actually his fault and that he was being manipulated by someone. And I was just wondering if the manipulator also had said runes on her arm.
This doesn't sound like it's associated with Epis. He's quite subtle. Well, nonetheless, I was raised by Epis from a very young age, as well as everybody else in the Sanctums. He tended to pick children and raise them up in order to make sure that they were loyal to him. He would often pick people of very little social class, and he would be very akin to their arcane realm. Illusions so happened to be something I was very familiar with before I was capable of arcane abilities. What seems to me is that there is the possibility that he could be breaking free, and that does not sit well with me. I do not know how he is able to, as the Song of Banishment is so powerful based off of 8 archmages that it would take a spell beyond all comprehension, and something that nobody could ever do, even Epis's knowledge, to be able to free him. No, not even gods themselves can to some degree.
Wait, didn't we know something about this, like, crazy mad god? Do you think the crazy mad god is helping the crazy mad?
Which god are you looking at?
I do not remember his
His
name.
nickname was the Mad God.
I know who you're referring to. No. Wow, even Daniel's forgetting the name of this god. Hold on a second. I know what the name of this fucking god is.
LOL.
There are a lot of names to keep straight, man.
I know.
You got a Lundy, you have Albert. Like, how are we supposed to remember Albert? It's not... It's
Thurisdune, there we go, it's Thurisdune.
There we go.
Thurisdune, to my knowledge, has nothing to do with Epis.
I mean, you did say the man was going mad at one point.
I did, but Thurisdune is a very particular type of divine magic. We would definitely know if he was involved. There is no masking against some of the divination abilities of the Sanctum of the 8 Realms.
So, out of curiosity, how would we know
How would you know what?
if Thurisdune was involved with Epis?
Based off your abilities, I don't think you'd be able to.
Great. Solid. So happy to hear that.
However, there is a solution if you would like to beckon with me. The ritual can be performed again, and therefore keep him trapped away. However, you will need to convince some members that I am less friendly with.
I'm okay. Hear me out. I actually know if that is a good idea.
Explain.
So,
Just gathering the 8 people that he needs into one area.
what he said, exactly what he said. With I saw all 8 of them meeting.
Meeting
And
where?
I don't know. I saw all 8 of them in the same area that Epis was. Which, in my mind,
the space that you described to me is not the temple.
yeah. But my worry is that somehow, if we get all 8 people in the same area, then there's going to be some kind of interference from either some god or Epis will have somehow figured out a way to teleport all of you guys to him.
Epis could teleport us anytime he wishes. Epis does not have any influence over the material world.
I'm sorry, did you just say that he can teleport anybody, anywhere, anytime?
Yes.
Why not? Of course. Okay. Okay. So, okay, I don't know what to do now, because originally my thought was, you don't get all 8 people together, because if that doesn't happen, then potentially the future doesn't happen, that I saw.
Well,
But if what you're saying is true with him being able to just teleport people willy-nilly, then it doesn't really matter what I do.
I would say that if we re-attempted the ritual, that would be our best shot at ensuring no one left the demi-plane we set for him.
Is there a way to, like, look through, like, an eyeglass or something and see if he's still there?
If we did, it would give him an avenue to leave.
Okay, not doing that. Good to know.
It is a two-way door. There's no way to open it if you do not want him to leave.
No security cameras of any kind, like...
What's a camera?
Listen, man, you're the magic person here, okay? I'm throwing out ideas.
She was like, yeah, what's a camera, sir?
It's just... It was an idea in my head. It might take off in the future. I'm not sure, though.
You watch as he turns and goes, well, anyways, the best way we can deal with this is to seal them away again. But you will need to convince the other members that I cannot speak to.
Okay, great. Okay. Who do we need to convince?
Tolmark Panzer is one of the military leaders within the city of Leviathos. Or sorry, the capital of the Leviathos Federation, Protopolis. He and I are not on good terms. We had a falling out years ago. River OL is part of the Draconis Igno court. He has not been willing to speak to me. And I would imagine it would be pertinent if you all would attempt to instead.
We go over this. We say, hey, so that evil guy you sealed away a while ago is coming back. He's going to fuck everything up again. And then they say, oh shit, better stop that. And then we move on with our lives.
I don't know what you would need to do to convince him, but if you were able to get through all the defenses of my tower, I could imagine you would be formidable enough to take care of that.
Not going to lie, we kind of brute forced them.
I could tell. However, you did not die, so...
Question. What do you mean, handle him?
Handle who?
River OL. You said that we were good enough to get through the tower. What defenses does he have?
He is an enchantment master. or sorry, my apologies, a divination master. He will see you from a mile away. And if he does not want to deal with you, he will not. To convince him to speak with you means you have to do something that would interest him. He is an egotistical sort, but he is incredibly involved in political affairs within the court of Draconia. No.
So here's the plan. We're going to make a sign that says, "Bad evildoer, you sealed away a while." We're gonna carry this sign over there, and then he'll see it from a mile away, and then we won't even have to walk as far.
Or I have an idea. Hey,
He
Evie,
starts laughing for a second. He's like, you know, I wish that would work with him.
hey, Rashi.
Who is not here and currently getting food?
Oh, she is?
Oh. I'm gonna ping her.
I mean, my question was just gonna be, hey, Arashi, so how do you feel about trying to dress up like a princess for a day?
Oh my god. The last two individuals are the most difficult for me to deal with. Mostly
Okay.
because I can't really figure out where they appear. But you might be able to find some information about that when you speak to the others. Lemore, Portus, and Gasp. They are the...
I'm sorry, you say gas or gasp?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
GAS.
And which magic divination are they?
Lemore is the master of conjuration, and Gasp is the master of necromancy.
Ah,
Those are
Alex.
scary.
They live together in their own demi-plane normally, but they do visit the material plane occasionally. I do not know normally where they go. I am still friends with Balrog, Sanif, and Tro, and I will be able to speak with them, hopefully, to convince them to become involved in this. If what you say is true, I will have to do my own research.
Arashi did here that you're not gonna wear a dress. I mean, you could wear like a pantsuit if you want to. Saying like a dragonborn pulling up in a suit does not make that much sense. And like, you're the most like elegant person of us all, so unless you really want to dress up Blank.
I mean, Blank does have disguise, so he could just make himself look.
You're
Well,
right, actually.
are there any other
Oh,
questions that you all might have?
Yeah, a few. So why are his eyes rainbows?
That I don't quite understand. I would not know. There's a variety of reasons that could possibly happen. It's hard to really distinct or mystify exactly what it would be.
Can you explain some of the possibilities?
Illusion magic is versatile and would allow him to easily manipulate it so that way the pupils of his eyes change. He could be filled with various elements of energy that are specifically colored.
Violently casting prestidigitation like 30 times a second.
That is not how that works, but perhaps.
Another question. Is it possible for an Arcanist to become a god?
Yes. It has happened on 2 occasions within this world.
What were those two occasions, potentially?
One was a ritual performed at Ravencrest before the end of the recovery. It is hard to say exactly what happened there, but one day the god of death changed. I do not know his original name, but the Raven Queen is the current god of death. The other occasion was an ascendance from the Shadowfell by an individual named Vecna, the Whispered One.
Sorry, what was the name again? Vecna?
Vecna.
And what is Vecna the god of?
The god of evil secrets.
So, okay. So, Vecna's the god of evil secrets.
Yes.
Does that mean that they know all the secrets of the realm?
Vecna would know secrets that would definitely know secrets that not even Ioun potentially could have knowledge of.
Okay.
Now then, do you have any other questions?
I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. I mean, you've given me something where literally all I do is ask questions, so now I'm gonna ask all my questions. So, if anybody else has questions, feel free to speak up.
It's what this session is for.
So, the magic that I'm describing, that Epis was doing to the 8 individuals, what would that be?
That sounds like a custom ritual to absorb the energy from someone's bodies. It is also difficult for me to understand how that would work for Arcanists, because only really sorcerers would be appropriate for that. Arcanists draw energy from around them.
Is it possible to be an Arcanist and a sorcerer at the same time? I mean, you say this dude's super powerful, so...
Perhaps, but it wouldn't make much sense to me, considering drawing energy from someone. An Arcanist only has the energy inside their own body. We, as Arcanists, are no more special than any other humanoid. It is our knowledge that makes us strong.
I guess... my question... And back up food, stay muted, say you will pop in when you need to. Okay. My question is... So, being a sorcerer is something you're born with, correct?
Yes.
Being an Arcanist is something that can be taught.
Yes.
What if he's been playing sheep while he's actually a wolf?
You're going to have to clarify with me.
So you say he's been using these different runes and these different abilities to try to manipulate everybody into these certain situations so that everything goes his way.
Only when he was in the material plane. He has had no clear influence of the world since, and I have been very thorough to ensure that.
Okay, yeah. But my point is that if he is as strong as you say he is, I am not sure if that is just an Arcanist.
I would know if he had the ability to have innate power. His abilities solely source from himself in terms of his arcane knowledge, not from sorcery. It is also important to understand that he constructed this ritual for himself in the past, in case that he became a threat to arcane knowledge. Before he was mad.
Yeah, so he saw his own downfall before it even happened.
Sheld, the former Abjuration Master, was the one who taught it to us. Sheld was a trustworthy individual.
So, he created the ritual that put him into this dungeon.
Into the demi-plane, yes.
What if that's all he wanted this whole time?
I would not expect so, considering how hard he attempted to ensure that he was not placed there. He also was clearly attempting to enter the material plane more and more. The Sanctum of the Eight Realms was originally another demi-plane, a location that he controlled himself. However, he has lost all access to it. it would not seem likely that him being locked away is something he wants, considering his entire goal was to ensure that arcane knowledge was preserved. He is the main conduit of arcane knowledge and the one who teaches it to all of us.
Yeah, but he succeeded with having you 8th place.
We were not the only members. There has always been a member that has filled the role for the 8 realms.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is he succeeded. He didn't need to keep doing what he was doing.
He has done it for centuries. It was not that he fulfilled his role. It is that if we had the knowledge that he does, we would be much more powerful than the way we are now. He distributes and ensures that we chronicle and preserve the knowledge of our different realms, but he is the main keeper. He is the one who tends to it and ensures that all knowledge is preserved. If he is removed, the knowledge will slowly die, unless we are able to fulfill it for him. And us, and the way that we locked him away, would ensure that that would not happen. We have not been teaching other students our abilities, at least for the most part. It is unlikely that he would expect us to continue his mission. Does this make sense?
Yes, I'm just processing and trying to figure out another question to ask because I know that there's one forming. I just need a second. So with him being locked away, so if he is gone, then everything slowly fades. But what if you guys keep it going with yourselves?
Then yes, it would
do
be
it the right way, obviously.
It would be preserved. However, the abilities that he taught us were required by his hand. He didn't just teach us. He forced the knowledge into our heads. Knowledge that would take years upon years for someone to ever acknowledge.
Are you sure he told you everything about your divination and magic?
He didn't. We were training the entire time that he was around. For most of my early years, up to my 20s, I was not allowed to leave the sanctum of the 8 realms. I was solely training.
Was there ever a point where some of the older members, before he was put away, they had actually learned everything?
No. Shald was still training, and she was nearly 100 years old.
Then
the bounty of knowledge that he has is over a millennium old. It's hard to say how old he is. He's not a lich, but he figured out some way of immortality.
Then that is my worry. Wait, what the?
About that. What did you last year?
He's not a lich, but he somehow figured out some way of immortality. Then you cut off.
Yes. He doesn't die by age. I don't know if he is killable.
Joyful. That was an important question that I needed to know.
What was that, Jeff?
I was wondering if he was killable.
I do not know. Shall never believe so, and nobody else in our group obviously would be willing to attempt, even if he was killable.
Why is that?
The power that he exudes is that could match a god. Perhaps it's not the same anymore, as he is, when we last saw him, not sane. It would require all the members of the 8 realms to be able to, at the very least, subdue him.
I guess my worry is, what if he's gotten stronger since his last time?
He does not have access to his arcane records, or access to anybody to experiment or practice his abilities.
Someone like that doesn't need that stuff. Someone like that doesn't need that stuff at this point.
You're not wrong. However, the ritual that we performed isn't about strength. The very tethers, the very veils of this world are the things that block him. Spells are able to carefully manipulate that, but not to bend the world against all of its logics. Magic is not. Magic is science. There is a way that everything happens when you cast a spell.
So, is there some sort of sanctum for sorcerers?
No. Sorcerers are people born with magical abilities, like your friend sitting at the table over here. And he points to blank.
Yeah, we're not really sure if he's truly a sorcerer or if he just gets really fucking lucky a lot of the time.
Well, that can be what sorcerers are like.
Nobody else has questions, right? I'm not just like hogging the session, right?
Oh no, I don't. I'm more than content with your
Are you just enjoying listening to this?
Mhm.
Okay.
Arashi?
I don't have a very inquisitive mind, anyways. Jay's not inquisitive.
Yes.
Do you got any questions?
No, I'm chilling.
Okay, cool. I'll just keep going then. So, Alex, where were you studying at before?
I was originally meant to stay at the tower until Avandra gave me further word, but she didn't.
No. Where were you studying, like, originally, the college?
Cryptopolis Pansophical. Over in the Kingdom of Orcrest.
Is that sorcerers or is that arcanist?
It's anyone of arcane ability. A lot of us were wizards, but that's not the only people that train there.
Is there any chance that you could have potentially bumped into who did you say it was? Lamore or Gasp?
To my knowledge, I would not have known if I bumped into them. There are many people that go into the college.
Could you maybe reach out to a professor?
Who?
The
Antidepressant.
Driscoll?
yeah,
Yeah.
him.
Sorry, not Driscoll.
So,
Thank you.
Go off. Yeah.
What would I be saying to him? He didn't really want to hear from me again.
Wait, why? When was this?
When he left, he was like, I expect you to take care of this, and then he left.
Yeah, but didn't he also say, like, feel free to contact me if you need me?
I think he vaguely mentioned, like, you could contact him, but only in an emergency. Or if there's more problem with Alex. You could contact Zoloft if you so wish.
I need, okay, team vote. So, Jay, Arashi, do we contact Zoloft and Alex? Do we contact Zoloft and ask him about potentially where, like, Lamore and Gasp have been, if he knows anything about that?
I think it's worth a shot, I guess.
that sounds as good a plan as any.
Okay. Alex, could you tell or ask Zoloft very politely if he has heard from Lamore or Gasp at any point recently?
I feel like this place is blocking my ability to use any divination magic. And Nolundi goes, yes, that would be me. Give me 1 second. And he waves his hand around, and you watch as, like, bricks shift around the top of the building. And you watch as they unlock, and there's a small hole that shows sky. And he goes, "You can cast through there." And Alex goes, "Okay. What should I include in my message?"
Dear Zoloft, I am. Wait, how many words do I get?
25.
Fuck. Okay. Now I gotta write this out to make sure I actually do it right. Okay, so it's the head arcanist.
He is not the head arcanist. He is just a professor.
No, Lamore and Gasp.
They are not the head arcanists. Are you asking the masters of? So you're saying the masters of conjuration and necromancy among the Sanctum of the Eight Realms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So give me the exact wording of what the message is, and then I will tell you what Zoloft says in response via Alex.
Yep. I just am word counting to make sure 22 words. Perfect. Zoloft, it's Alex. We need your help. Do you know where Lamore or Gasp are from the Sanctum of the Eight Realms?
Alex sends the message. Zoloft says he does not know of these individuals, but he will give word if he finds out anything important.
Perfect. Okay, sweet.
Alundi turns to you and goes, "Very well. Lastly, some of you do not seem to be armed to deal with such an affair. I can see that you have gained a weapon of arcane power due to the waters of one of my traps. However, and he points to you, Jay, you could still use something that would give you a little bit more of a arcane boost.
I wouldn't know how to use it.
I don't think that this would be too difficult for you to deal with." And he pulls out a great axe. It is a vicious great axe.
Looks just like an axe.
Sorry, actually, he's giving you a +2 great axe. My bad.
Oh, holy fuck.
So this will do +2 to your attack and +2 to your damage rolls.
Jesus Christ.
As for you, Arashi, he slides over a +2. Do you use a short sword or a dagger? What do you use generally?
I use mostly a dagger.
+2. He slides over a +2 dagger for you.
Yes.
With Vorbor, he slides over a +2 silver sword.
Oh?
I believe your steel sword is +1 also.
Yes, it is.
So there you go. Consider these to be tokens of my respect for you coming all this way. Now then, if you need to contact me, I trust that Alex will be able to speak. I will open a channel specifically that Alex will be able to speak through. And he begins to write out arcane runes on a piece of parchment for Alex to look at. What he is writing is essentially a custom spell. That is incredibly difficult to do in a short amount of time, but he writes a custom spell that Alex can use. But it will take Alex 2 days to fully learn. If nothing else, Do you have any other questions?
Where could we potentially find Vecna?
Vecna, did you ask?
Yeah.
Vecna rules over the realm mostly of the Shadowfell, although he does wish to have greater power over the material plane. I would not know where Vecna would have great influence.
Okay.
The divine is not my specialty. Is that all you wish to ask?
Let me just double check. How long has Epis been trapped?
30 years.
And why didn't see any Dragonborn? Are y'all just like racist against Dragonborn? Like the fuck?
Epis was the one who selected them, so I guess you could inquire that Epis is racist.
Dope, cool. More reasons to kill him or potentially do other things to him. It's fine.
Damn.
I would imagine if this is your last question, then Albert, would you be able to guide them out of here? And you watch as the stone of the wall opens up, and you see now grassland, and he goes, Albert will take you close to the first destination that I gave you. Does that work for you all, or do you wish to go on your own pace?
I think I'm good with it, if you guys are.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, see it being a problem. Like, I guess cart guy gets to keep our cart.
Very well. You all hop upon Albert, and he starts flying towards the Draconius Ignil capital, over the refractal forest. It'll take about 2 days to get there, but I'm going to actually make the session cut short, because I know that Evie has to go.
Appreciate you.
Huh? What did you say, Evie?
I said appreciate you.
Of course. How was that in terms of questions? Because I know that you had a lot of questions, so I hope that answered them.
Yeah, it was good.
So the role that I asked you to make when we were doing our personal sessions, Jeff, that was to see if you understood that Tharizdun was not the person that was not Epis.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
To realize that there was no connection between Tharizdun and Epis. But you didn't roll high enough, so... now you know! Okay. I'm gonna pop out, guys, but I'll talk to you later, okay?
Alright, see you, Daniel.
Thank you for joining me. I know it was very short.
By the way, those are my notes from the session.
Hold
In
up.
general.
Hold up.
They're very scatterbrained and mostly just like kind of like I'm mostly gonna understand them, but
I wanna see.
it's very
Oh,
scatterbrained.
it downloaded. Why did it download it? I don't like that.
It's a Word document.
Epis has been trapped for 30 years. I will probably
I
keep this.
really want to go visit the fucking evil secrets person. I'm not gonna lie.
The who to what now?
They're evil and full of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically already a rogue. We don't need to see any more of this.
Yeah, but what if there's a secret that we can learn that's gonna actually save the world, man?
LOL.
I don't
We don't have to trust it. We just have to see.
Why did she give up the evil secret? Because then it would stop being a secret, wouldn't it?
Well, because
She doesn't care.
Civil video, but
depends if we figure out what the intentions are of Epis when he comes back. Because if we figure out what his intentions are,
No.
then that means that we could maybe leverage it.
I honestly don't know what's happening. Well, I mean, I do, but I also don't, because there's so many names that I got lost.
Vecna is the god of evil secrets, and Epis is bad dude.
Okay, cool. Can we kill them?
All you gotta think of is Epis' rainbow eyes.
Okay. Can I kill them?
Well, no, we don't even know if we can kill Epis.
God fucking damn it.
Remember, the dude was like, yeah, I don't... to my knowledge, he's unkillable. And it's like, oh, great, cool, awesome.
Oh, well. It's fine. I'll punch him, get a nat 20, and still miss.
That is your specialty.
That is indeed my specialty. I'm still annoyed that I miss at a nat 20. That's fucked up.
He was never there. What do you mean?
I don't care. I should have been able to punch him. Like, through his illusion. That would have been cool, you know?
God, I just... See, I'm gonna walk away. In 5 minutes, I'm gonna come up with more questions that I wish I asked.
Accurate.
On the bright side, we have 2 full days just to annoy Albert.
You're right.
True.
Can I punch him?
No, we're riding on his back. Don't punch him.
But I kind of want to punch him.
I just don't know what to do, man. Like,
I think the next fight we get in is going to be fun.
yeah, you with your fucking...
I have a +9 to hit right now.
You have a what?
I have a +9 to hit and +9 to damage.
That's Pog.
Yeah, I have a +5 on my silver sword. I wish it was on my steel sword, so it'd be more useful, but...
Your steel sword was already enchanted.
Yeah,
Remember you put it in the thing?
yeah, I know. It's a +1 to everything, so...
So it's slightly less good. I mean, in total you get a +3, so that's good. And there are dual wielding rules, so you could use both of them at the same time.
I'm gonna hop out, guys.
Okay, sounds good.
See you around.
See ya.
And that's gonna end the stream for whoever's around. Thank you for sticking around. Pretty short stream, only an hour, but it's fine. I gotta do stuff. Whoever is around, because I know there's someone around, I will be streaming later, around 6 or 7, depending on what time I get home. It's gonna be a Terraria, so stick around for that. Keep an eye out for that. I mean, I don't fucking know. See you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Bye!